All right, welcome to week 12. This week we're going to talk a little bit about risk management on your individual project and about procurement on the group project. Okay, so first let's talk about risk management. So what's the difference between a risk and an issue? Okay, great. You're right. An issue is something that's happened. A risk is something that you anticipate beforehand and anticipate the likelihood of that risk happening, and then making plans. Either you can choose all kinds of things, of course, to do with a risk. You can choose to take steps to mitigate it. You can choose to alter your project and what you're doing in order to make sure that it happens, which would also be a mitigation step. Or you can just accept the risk. You could also buy insurance against the risk. Let me talk to you about a specific instance. So let's say that you were doing a project and part of that project included pouring a cement foundation for a house. And let's say that it arrives the day you're trying to pour the concrete, and the temperature outside is only 30 degrees, which is below freezing and difficult, or it takes different steps in order to pour concrete in that type of weather. Is that an issue or a risk? Okay, you're right. It's an issue at this point. Now, what could you have done, because this was probably a risk that you should have considered as you planned the project, what kind of things could you have done to mitigate this risk? Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, some of the things that you could have done is had equipment there for that. You could have built in ability to postpone that a little bit, maybe plan the schedule a little bit differently so you only pour it in the spring or summertime. You could have definitely had different equipment there. Had blankets and those kinds of things in order to make it so that you still could move forward. Okay, great. Now let's talk about procurement a little bit. Now, what is procurement? What do we mean when we say that? Okay, you're right. It's outsourcing or purchasing things instead of doing them yourself. Now, as you think about procurement, what kind of things would you do as an outside purchase? What kind of things? Great. Let me tell you a little bit about a project I was involved in. It's called Inferential Genealogy. And in this project, we decided that we wanted to do some procurement. And the reason we decided to do that was for a couple of reasons. Number one, it increased our speed to delivery because we didn't have enough resources to do it all internally. It also helped us shift some of the risk for, we had quite an intensive requirement for intellectual property, and by having it outsourced, we shifted the risk to that provider so that it no longer became an issue for us. That one provider could give us complete intellectual property to the work that he provided, and so it made a lot of sense in that case to outsource. And because we outsourced, we were able to complete a project that probably would have taken us 6 months. We were able to complete it in about 2 months, well below budget, and saved us tons of time on schedule. So there's just an example of procurement. Can you think of something that you've procured in your life? What kind of thing do you tend to procure rather than do yourself? Thank you for sharing that. Okay, that's it for this week. We're getting close to the end here, so hang on to the end, and please let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Text is best, 801-884-9988. Thank you.